let's say $2 a bird after shipping. Now, talk about currency to poop converters. That's those birds. They also grow twice as fast. You saw the size of the meat birds and the size of the chicken. The chicks I hatched myself, they're the same age, within plus or minus a day or two. So those meat birds are twice the size. If you want to get into meat birds, also understand that you're going to have associated costs if you're going to do kind of like bulk processing. Bulk processing, what I mean is that you're going to get a defeather, pretty much a drum that will spin around. It's got little rubber fingers in there, and so you're going to put the birds in hot water for about 45 seconds to a minute, about 140 degrees. It'll soften and let the feathers. This thing strips all the feathers off. That thing's expensive. I don't know what I paid for mine. I think it was like 300 bucks. Expensive. If you're only going to be cleaning one chicken a week, 2 chickens a week, and if you're okay with doing that by hand, I'll save you a lot of money. You will need a stew pot, a big 5-gallon stew pot, to put the chickens in after you, end their life, and to get those feathers off. You don't want to try to feather a bird that hasn't been soaked in hot water, like about 140 degree water, for a few minutes. You'll need chicken cones, very sharp knives, and then a processing area that you can, do that. So if you're harvesting multiple birds, I definitely get like some table that's very washable for outside, garden hose, the featherer, the water heater, which can be one of those little gas turkey baster or turkey fryer things, and so forth. Now, if you have a little bit of property, like I have 5 acres, and you're seeing like the back 2 acres back here, you build chicken tractors, which these are under construction and they'll be done this weekend. I made mine 16 by 8 just because it's dimensional lumber and it's easier to work with. I don't have to worry about making a whole bunch of cuts. And this is where the chicken's 75 on each one of these. All together, all being said and done, since I didn't have all this laying around in scrap wood, is going to cost me about $200 a tractor. Now, the nice thing about this is that these tractors will last the course of a few years. It's not something you have to build every time, so it's kind of a one-time cost. So if you're going to get into meat birds, you'll have to have some way of doing this. There's a cheaper way of doing it. You could also get one of those shelters like I showed you in there. The reason I'm doing this is they'll be moving spaces every day, dragging them over fresh grass every day, so they'll have more than just feed going on, and for their food they'll also get bugs and grass and the berries and all that from the ground. So hopefully that'll save a little bit on feed costs, and hopefully it'll produce a better tasting bird versus your birds that you get from the store that come from like the Tyson big chicken farms. That's the biggest reason also I'm doing this, is because if you've ever had a locally produced chicken that has been cared for however, the 2 to 3 months that it's alive, put that side by side with a chicken that you're going to get from like your Tyson chickens, and you will notice a huge difference in taste. It's such a huge difference that after eating homegrown chickens, the Tyson ones and all that stuff, the plant raised chickens I should say, they don't taste good at all. I mean, I don't know what it is about it, but I don't know, they don't taste that good. And unfortunately, places like mass-produced food stores like Walmart's and Kroger's and Dillon's and whatnot, they focus on making sure people get this mass-produced food the easiest way. And because it's been like that for so long, people don't understand what food tastes like anymore. You only understand what you're supposed to understand, which is everything's bland and generic. You know, so there's that. And so if you want to get into meat birds, food is expensive. For say 150 birds, I'm gonna probably be blowing through a ton and a half of food before I slaughter them, and that's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,500. Now the cost benefit is there because I'll be selling these birds. I'm going to have to sell these birds at about $8 a pound. And why I have to sell them for about $8 a pound is because I have to be able to afford the next batch of chickens and the next batch of food for the chickens. And plus, I would like to pay, like, my son for helping me clean them and bag them and process them and all that stuff. I think he deserves that. Ultimately speaking, though, you can maybe, these birds are going to probably cost you, if you're going to home grow your own meat birds, assume that they're going to probably cost you about $5 to $5.50 a pound for each bird, and that's just cost. That's going to be your feed cost and your getting a chicken's cost. Some ways I'm going to be looking to bring this down. This video is probably going on forever. I'm stumbling around my property getting nightly chores done. Some of the ways you can bring this cost down is get birds that are slower growing, more dual purpose, and you can hatch your own eggs and use those, like the Buff Orpington. Now I'm not sure how they taste. I'm going to get some buffs later this year, and or like the Jersey Giant, which is of course half turkey, it's not really half turkey, but it's a very big chicken. And I'll be getting some of those in a couple months. Finally ordered them already 4 months ago. And so my dog's going crazy. And I'll be trying those birds out too. And I'll be trying out a different batch of birds as well, do side-by-side comparisons on their taste. Because ultimately, I do want taste and quality over like mass production. I want to offer a quality product to not only me and my family and my friends, but to everybody else. So if you can get breeding chickens and do it that way, you can ultimately save costs over the long run. You won't have to be buying new birds every batch. Some things like the Cornish crosses, the Freedom Rangers, these are specialty hybrids, and I'm not sure what the recipe is for those. And let me turn my radio off here. I'm not sure what the recipe is for those, what kind of male female birds you need to make those, but either way you need probably about, in order to get a good batch of those, you'd probably need, again, 20 hens, 2 or 3 roosters of the right breeds to make these chickens. That's going a little bit beyond the cost. That's kind of, if you want to look forward in the future to be more self-sustainable. And that's ultimately what I'm working on here, is purely as self-sustaining as possible, and also supporting my community as much as possible. So this year I'm raising these meat birds. I'll probably raise them next year too, just because I'll have everything built out for them. And after that, the meat birds I'll have will probably be, like, I do plan on getting the American breasts, which it probably won't, it probably won't be the best selling bird. It's supposed to be the world's best tasting bird, or at least the French breast is. And it really depends on how you finish them. But the that price per chicken will probably be a little too steep for most people. And then I plan on using the buffs. I'll try out the buffs and the Jersey Giants, which I'll be breeding myself as well. And also I want to become one of the sustainable farms across the country that are keeping the bird heritage lines alive. So there's that. And it's beyond the scope of this talk, which I'm not sure what the scope of this talk is. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. And if you've even come close to getting this far, I appreciate you watching it. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please put them down below. Brand new channel. I just want to, you know, explain my side of it. These videos probably won't be as quality as like a lot of folks do. You know, but you know, time is short, so I will do the best I can to put out quality content. But I don't have that much time during the day, you know. So there's a lot of things to get done during the day. That being said, if you want to see any different kind of content, you want to see chickens, you know, videos of chickens, I'll be more than happy to put a GoPro out there and watch chickens for a while. I'm going to have a live stream. Today is, what is today? I think the 17th of, no, it's the 23rd of March. Wow, I was a little bit off. This weekend should be some hatching going on. So I will be doing kind of a live stream on this channel of the hatching now. And that'll probably go on for quite a while. And so that'll be fun. And other than that, yeah, this was mostly about chickens for now. Maybe sometime in the future we might diversify, but right now my diversification plan centers solely around chickens. So there's that. Anyways, thank you for watching my video. Especially thank you if you've gotten this far in it. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.